And welcome back. New at 6 tonight. All wars have their front lines, the places where the fighting is most intense and the risks the greatest. The COVID-19 pandemic has created an entirely different set of warriors.
And let's turn now to 17's Robert Price. He has a look at some of those ordinary folks whose contributions have not been fully appreciated by we, the beneficiaries.
Nothing has ever been like this before, short of war or acts of war.
U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams laid it out in stark terms on Sunday.
The next week is going to be our Pearl Harbor moment. It's going to be our 9/11 moment. It's going to be the hardest moment for many Americans in their entire lives.
Indeed, this crisis is in many ways more like the horrors of World War II and the World Trade Center attacks than any of those killer viruses of the past because of the widespread, pervasive, and society-changing destruction they wreaked. Each of those spasms of human history had its own unique heroes. In World War II, it was the 16 million soldiers, sailors, and airmen deployed by the U.S. alone, of whom more than 400,000 died, and millions more Americans, including 16 million women, worked in the shipyards, aircraft factories, and other wartime industrial settings to support the effort. They, too, were the heroes of World War II. Here's Bakersfield historian Bethany Rice.
Had mentioned talking about these people that didn't expect to be frontline workers, but suddenly are. So you've got your Rosie the Riveter workers that come out and start building these airplanes, the shipyard workers, these factories that have been converted from creating just their everyday cars or something to creating these wartime items. So that's much like we have going on today, where we see more people producing these N95 masks, more ventilators coming out from these kinds of companies, which is really exciting.
On September 11, 2001, our world changed again when terrorists hijacked and flew commercial jets into Manhattan's World Trade Center and the Pentagon near Washington, D.C. Nearly 3,000 people were killed in the Twin Towers, including 412 emergency workers, police, EMTs, and firefighters, 343 firefighters. Today, we have a very different set of heroes. Some we praise emotionally and often, and some we may not think much about. Medical personnel, doctors, medical aides, and especially nurses, the people of the front lines, including hundreds of physicians who have come out of retirement. Those are the undeniable heroes of the COVID crisis. This crisis has produced other heroes too. Schools have always played roles that have gone beyond classroom learning in the lives of our children. They're centers for social development and nutrition as well. Many of us have taken that for granted. Now in this time of crisis, it becomes much more clear. Teachers are, for millions of families, lifelines.
This is different now because it's a different terrain. It's like the battlefield, it's still the same, it's the same process of being a soldier, but the battlefield looks totally different now. And, I'm still supposed to be successful. And it's taking a lot of adjustment. I frankly think it's heroic how much effort, teachers are putting in to make sure that students still feel valued. They're still getting educated. The same outcome is happening, but we're having to completely change the way that we do it. So I think that's how teaching is. I think it's not heroic because I don't think our lives are in danger in any way, but it is heroic in the sense that we're trying to meet our obligations in a qualitatively and quantitatively different way.
We've had other heroes too, farm workers, including thousands here in Kern County, doing the always challenging work of harvesting the food that feeds the nation. But now, as essential workers, they're under even more challenging circumstances. Here's iconic labor leader Dolores Huerta.
They're out there working to make sure that people get, that we are all getting fed, we're all getting nourished. And so I think that they should be included when they say, okay, we're going to thank, the doctors and the nurses and thank God. We are very grateful for the work that they're doing. But hey, we have one other group that needs to be mentioned when we want to give them our respect and we want to give them our thanks and all those workers out there.
From agricultural workers to the vital supply chain, long and short-haul truck drivers who transport essential goods, made even more essential by the pandemic, are working long hours because of the shortage of supplies and a shortage of other truckers. And then there are grocery clerks, yes, grocery clerks, who are providing one of the most basic of services, getting food into the hands of Americans. Grocery store workers come face-to-face with members of the public daily, hourly, one after another, some of them borderline panicked. That kind of regular contact with the public is hugely risky, but grocery clerks, along with home delivery drivers, do it because they must, and we need it.
It's been a learning experience for us too, dealing with this type of situation, and when people depend on a product like this, it allows us to show exactly who we are and how we come together as a community, and as a local store that's been around over 60 years. Obviously, every owner is experiencing something different, and this is our time to shine.
There are no flying bullets of war. There are no crumbling buildings. There's only an insidious, unseen enemy, and people working the front lines to fight it. Not just the doctors and nurses, but people like grocery store workers, truckers, teachers. They're the front line for us in this fight, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. For 17 News, Robert Price.
Yes, well said, Robert Price, and we all concur here at 17 News. We're back after the break.